Hey folks, Lemonade here. And we have a very special video today because this is actually my current main, the Model O minus wireless. We're going to go over some of the specs, the box, all the good stuff about it, some things I don't like, how it compares to some other mice, and the pricing because it's kind of interesting. But before we get into all that, let's take a look at this beauty.
Here, you got first aid?
All right, folks, the Model O minus wireless kind of sits in a very unique spot on the market because there's nothing really quite like it for the particular kind of person that would be using this mouse. The mouse itself runs that BAM sensor, the tried and true BAM sensor from Glorious. It's pretty much a reworked 3370. Great implementation, no complaints there from sensor performance. In-game has been flawless. Battery life, 71 hours rated. I have not tested that, but it's been fine. I charge it about once a week. I do recommend run RGB off. It does have a lot of RGB on the device. No matter what I did with it, I couldn't get it to last more than just a couple of days with the RGB. So highly recommend just leave the RGB off. Not really necessary. Out of the box, it does come with it's set at 1000 hertz, 800 dpi, 1 millimeter liftoff distance, 4 millisecond debounce time. That's all customizable in the software. We'll go over that later on in the video. Comes in black or white. The update to this, there are no holes on these left and right click anymore. There was on previous models. Now there's not. And it sells for $79.99. Kind of. Disclaimer. We'll circle back on that. The box itself, nothing special. Glorious box. Looks fancy. A lot of color and all that, but a lot of cheap plastic on the inside. I would have liked some foam padding, but not the end of the world. The cable itself and dongle. The dongle itself is actually really nice. It has this little rubberized coating on the bottom so it doesn't move around on the desk. Kind of grips on there. The cable, I've only used it a few times in game. It has these little kind of grips here, these little like fangs that lock it in. That with the length of it, it's kind of a stiffer cable. It's not the best. It gets the job done, but definitely I would like to see some improvements on future mice from Glorious regarding that. Now, build quality has been fantastic. This is my first Glorious mouse. I have not owned another one. I've heard horror stories that there's QC issues and they stink over time, yada yada. I've used it for a few months. It's been awesome. Solid, no creaks anywhere you feel on it. It's just a really well built and well balanced mouse. It's 65 grams, well weighted. It is kind of center weighted. You feel most of it there, but for its size, it feels really good and light in the hand. Bring it up for a little bit of close up here, guys. Take a look at this mouse if you haven't seen it up close. Some people like the holes, some people don't. It doesn't really bother you in use. You don't really feel them, and there's nothing on the side there for it to bother you. Again, the switches are Glorious switches, but they're essentially KL 8.0 is my understanding. They're tensioned really well. They are slightly more resistant. They got a little bit heavier push down compared to my Valor mouse. I'll show you that in a moment. USB-C, you'll see there the little area there for the hooks to kind of grab onto the sides. There's the bottom. Skates are great. They are very fast, but most mice with this weight and 4 skates on the corners are generally just faster than mice with the larger PTFE feet on the bottom and the top. So just expect that if depending on the pad you're using, this may be a little bit too fast for you and you might want to kind of switch up those skates. Now moving on from the skates here, the actual side buttons themselves, great placement. I mean, it's just like a micro movement upward for my thumb to get these. Super tactile, very, very little rear post travel. Maybe a little bit of more post travel on the rear one, but I mean, honestly, that's being nitpicky at this point. The implementation of the scroll wheel is fantastic compared to my Orochi. The steps are a little bit more muted, which I prefer, and but they're still tactile enough to feel out, and it's quick enough to actuate, kind of for quicker movements. So great on all the buttons here. D-pad button I don't use. This is locked out anyway, so kind of irrelevant in my particular case. That being said, on those skates, I do have an upcoming video where I will be modding this because, again, I feel like it's close to man game. There's some slight differences and upgrades that I might want to make. We're going to test out some new skates from Pure Track, kind of just see how those work on it on various different surfaces, and more importantly, some grip tape for the side and the main buttons there. So this I'm actually most curious about to see how it's going to affect performance. Again, follow-up video coming soon. Some quick comparisons. I have the Orochi here. This was my main for quite some time. Really good fingertip grip mouse. I have it on the Super Glides currently. But my main concern with this over time was just its length. I think if this was a little bit longer, it'd be a better mouse for more people. For reference sake, I have 19.5 by 10 centimeter hands. So the extra length here is much appreciated with this particular mouse. And then we have the Pure Track Valor. This is essentially a OEM clone, one for one of the Logitech G Pro Superlight. You can even see that little kind of comfort groove right there. Quite a big difference in size there. I'm currently testing this out, so we'll kind of speak on that on its own video. Now, definitely recommend this for fingertip grip. Palm, totally a no-go. I mean, this is just too much unless you have small hands. I do kind of get this into a claw sometimes depending on the situation, so you can definitely work for claw. It's not the most optimal for claw, but it can get the job done, again, depending on how you grip your mouse. In-game performance has been fantastic with this. I've actually set some of my best AimLab scores on this particular mouse. I really do feel locked in. It's got some nice curvature here, and really it's just the best way to describe it, because it's narrow and low profile. It really does feel like you're holding a pen. It's very precise and just kind of just locked in compared to, again, something like the Valor over there, a GPX clone. I just feel a little bit more kind of, I can engulf my hand a bit more. So now we'll jump into the software here so you guys can take a peek at that. Glorious Core, here it is. It's not my favorite software, but it gets the job done. I've never run it in the background to test system performance, and just kind of set what I needed to and go. You can switch lighting effects here, all the LED, glorious mode, and all that good stuff. Again, recommend just leave it off. You can set macros and disable keys here, like I disabled the DPI button myself. And performance tab, pretty basic here, but you can, again, switch lift-off distance down to 1 millimeter and debounce time down to 0 if you prefer. Now, I did say that we're going to talk actually about the pricing, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky with this particular mouse. Normal retail price, what I bought it for, was $79.99. I do feel like I got my money's worth. It's a fantastic mouse. I think it's well worth it. But right now, it's on a stupid sale of $54.99 on Glorious's website, including the regular Model O if you want the bigger size. But $54.99 for this mouse, it's a no-brainer. Buy it now. I don't know how long the sale is running. At that price, I really don't think you can find a better fingertip grip mouse. I just really don't. I think this is a stellar deal. You're getting a lot of mouse for the money. That being said, if you don't catch that sale price and you're looking at $80, it is a good mouse. I do recommend it, but we're in a tricky territory because Glorious actually has a new mouse coming out. It's currently sold out technically, but it's a Series 1 Pro, and here's a quick comparison to the Model O minus. It's essentially the same shape. It's just a little bit taller, so it essentially makes it more of a recommend for claw, but it also doubles as a really good fingertip grip mouse at the same time. So at $80 versus $100, they're so close that this might be the better option. This is also 50 grams in weight, and the battery life is, I think, 84. Yeah, right there, 84 hours of battery life. So you actually get better battery life. That being said, you're probably saying Lemonade, well, it's sold out. How the hell do I get it? This is the only place I found that you can get it. I did confirm with Max Gaming. They do ship internationally, of course, to the US. Ignore that this says 0 left in stock. As soon as they get them in stock, you'll be able to purchase it. So again, for $90, $109, the prices are so close. I would recommend waiting to see if you can grab one of these, because this is probably a better overall purchase. But again, if you don't want to wait and you see the sale, I don't really think you're going to get a bad mouse. I still think at the end of the day that this is an end game mouse for me, and at $54.99 currently, it's a no-brainer, folks. I really do recommend the Model O minus wireless. All my socials are down below, folks, with any affiliate links and discount codes. Nothing for the Glorious mouse. There are some other brands there. If you had a good time with me today, likes and subs are always appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. But until the next Fresh Squeeze video, stay thirsty, folks.